Hi guys, this is Team Spicy Boys bringing you our round 3 of our Friday night Battle Up locals, and on our left we have Julian versus Juan. Julian is playing the mono red Gogeta deck that he played round 1, and Juan here I believe is playing Shenron Veggies. So this is going to be a pretty interesting match. I want to say red is probably a hard matchup for Shenron Veggies, just because red has access to cards like After Image, and that's all you got. Or is that all you got? That new negate from set 6, that you can discard a card minus 15, and you can do that to pretty much the whole board of if Juan runs a good amount of 15 drops. You have I believe the Sister Kales, and then there's the 3-drop Kaba, and then there's the 2-drop Kaba himself. So that really does hit his board, besides the two Khalifas that the deck runs, the green being the green and the red one, which are both 20k. It looks like Julian put back 4 cards, and to me it looks like Juan put back 5 cards. So Juan probably not happy with his hand whatsoever, and probably digging for some more Dragon Balls, if not some Child Wishes, to get his play started early. And as for Julian, there's not too much that he's gonna want to see, and a lot of his deck are duplicate cards, being the mono red Gogeta. Within itself, you play the 1-drop Gokus and and Vegetas, and so on and so forth towards the 2 and 3 drops, and there's the free Rekus. And if he does run the TP Veku, which won't help him too much in this matchup, that's another Veku that, again, the deck list is pretty standard. Alright. So here Julian's going to go ahead and go in charge. I believe that's a Goku. And he's going to pitch a Goku. And that's going to be draw 2. Then he gets to choose if he wants to take a life or not, and he does. So that's netting him pretty much 3 cards there. 2 if you count how he minus when he pitched to Goku. And now he's going to go ahead and play a Goku himself, and that one he does whiff. So that one adds a Vegeta or a Veku. He didn't see any, unfortunately, there. So he didn't get to add anything. Alright, and Juan here choosing to charge the Kefla. You can't see too much of his hand, but you do see he has a Child's Wish in his hand, so that's a good start. And if I saw that correctly, it looked like he may have had 2 Dragon Balls in his life. And yeah, it was exactly that, 2 Dragon Balls. So as much as that sucks for Juan, that's really good for Julian. That just means less damage he needs to deal. And that's the scary part about running a Wish Leader, having Dragon Balls in your life. I once had a game where I've had about 4 or 5 Dragon Balls in my life before, and it was quite miserable. And the thing is like, oh yeah man, I'll just take the damage, and when I did take the damage, I didn't get a Dragon Ball whatsoever. It's just one of those things where it's you just saying like, that's quite unfortunate. Alright, so Juan here playing the Dragon Raider to look at the top 7. Hopefully he's hitting 2 to hit some Dragon Balls he desires. And you can see right there he hit 2 Dragon Balls. So that's going to be good for him, because so far he's only played 2, and that'll give him a 4-ball start. Pretty much making it, unless he gets more. In the meantime, from here until turn 3, he won't be awakened, unfortunately. At least not till then. Alright, so here he's going to go and play 1 Dragon Ball, and he's going to play the other. And let's see, did he draw any more Dragon Balls? And the answer to that looks no. It looks like he drew a Child's Wish and another red card, I believe. Maybe could have been another Kefla. I'm not too sure. Alright, let's see what red card Julian wants to charge today. And it could have been, looks like a Vegeta to me. I'm not sure which one's which. They all really do look alike. And again, he's using Leader Auto to pitch a Vegeta or Goku. Draw 2, and he did take a life there. So it's going to put Julian down to 6 for himself. And now he's going to go ahead and attack with lead. And he is going to combo out Vegeta here. And that'll be 15-1. And he's going to go ahead and use his Trunk Super combo there. And he indeed has 5 in the drop. That's going to allow him to net another card there. That's going to be 20 to Julian's 15. So, it doesn't look like Juan has a combo yet. So that's going to be pretty alarming for him. You can see that he does play the 1-drop Trunks there. So hopefully that'll either get him to discard the combo or add a combo into his hand. So here he ends up charging actually the 1-drop Trunks and using his Leader Auto right away. And he is at 4 balls, so then this will give him his 2 to be at 6. Hopefully he can draw the Dragon Ball out of somewhere at least. His most optimal draw would be the 2-drop combo because that would get his engine started. Anything other than that, Juan would be pretty disappointed, I feel, just because his hand, the way it's set up right now, would be it's set up for the combos. Multiple combos too, because he can just take the combo that was on board and combo it out or do something else with it. So yeah, so now he's definitely at 6. And let's see what he has in hand. One does have a pretty favorable hand size, but they mostly look like Sister Kales. And yeah, that's gonna be actually her right there. A 2-drop. And now he's gonna go ahead and attack. And this should just be 10. And then Julian out combos by discarding another Vegeta. You know, even although one doesn't have much to do, putting the Sister Kale on the board isn't a bad move because 1, it made Julian discard a card, and 2, it's also gonna end up shifting that focus towards the Sister Kale, because if Julian leaves it on the board, then all Juan needs to do is play another Universe 6 card, and then that auto would net him a card, and it would be +5, so that would be 15. Forcing Julian to combo a lot more, since he's only at 10 at the moment, and he is at 5 life. So although he's close, 20 is nothing to laugh at when you have to discard 3 cards. Let's see, what is Julian gonna do with the rest of his turn, because he does have 3 open energy here. And he's gonna go ahead and attack, and I'm not sure what he's attacking just yet. I want to say it's the kale, but we won't know until combos are made, or at least until after the battle phase or combat phase. So whatever he attacked, it was 10 to either or, but Juan comboed out 5, so that's 15. And now Julian's gonna go ahead and union for this Vecco here, and this is essentially a free union because you play him, you don't tap any energy, and when you're done with him, you put him in the drop, and then you go ahead and get back your materials. So now he's gonna go ahead and attack this this kale here, and the good thing about this is that this Vecco is 15. So if Julian decides he wants to combo out here, that'd be pretty big. But it doesn't look like it, and so no combos from Julian, but a super combo from Juan there, and that is gonna make him what are you saying? That is gonna force him to use another super combo. So there's 2 super combos played so far by Kevin. Not Kevin. What am I getting at? By Juan, and that's not too bad. When you force your opponents to use those earlier into the game, that means they won't have the combo power later on. So Julian is going to play this 2-drop Vegeta here. And this Vegeta, when it's played, you look at the top 5, add a Gogeta or a Goku to your hand, and then you have to discard a card after. So let's see, what does Julian end up discarding? And he already has one of those Gogetas in hand, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up discarding the Gogeta itself. And Julian didn't discard here, and that is a misplay on his end. I don't think it was intentional, but both players do have to pay attention to both cards are played, when cards are played, and what they do. Alright, so Julian does pass over to Kevin. He does have 1 open energy. I believe his sparking 5 is up for Julian, so he does have after image in his hand live in order to take a life if he really wanted to. You see he does have the "is that all you got" negate in his hand to stop any real advances from Juan here. But the thing is, like, Juan hasn't seen a Kaba yet, and he does have the Kale on board still, so that's going to be good for him, because if he does end up drawing a Kaba, he gets to combo it out with the Kale. Alright, so that should be his 7th Dragon Ball in his drop now. And if I'm noticing correctly, it looks to me that that Juan here actually forgot to charge. And I feel like he's noticed that himself, but he's gone to his turn. He's drawn an extra card. Yeah, man, it's quite unfortunate to play an energy behind, because now next turn Julian's gonna be at 4, and he'll still be at the 2 during his turn. Alright. Let's see. What is Juan gonna do for himself here? He does have his leader auto after he wishes. and that might be able to help him. But right now he's gonna go ahead and just attack with the KO here. And alright, so he did have a combo in hand, so he did end up drawing one either for turn off with the Dragon Ball. And that's gonna go ahead and set up his turns. And now he's gonna go ahead and tap 2 and play his first Child's Wish. And you can see he has multiple Child's Wishes in his hand. So this could be a really big turn for him, because he can flip the leader, add back a Child's Wish, and do it again with the leader's auto after he combos out the combo, that is, if he hits anything pretty good. And alright, so he does end up hitting the most optimal Khalifa there for this deck. You do play the green one, but the green one, the only thing it does for you is take a life. This one, I believe, is you look at the top 7 and then you play a Universe 6 card from it onto the board, not including herself. Alright, so let's see, did Kevin hit anything? And actually, nope, that is a whiff. And that's unfortunate for Juan here, but that's good for Julian, because this could have been another battle card on board, and that would be that'd be hard. That would really suck for Juan. But Juan here does have another way to use the Kaba again. And even if Julian does negate it with that's what is that all you got, and uses his the auto to kill off the Kaba, that'll just put it right back into where Juan wants it anyways, in the drop. So it's better just to negate and not discard, so his turn isn't extended more than it should be. And alright, so Juan is here going to attack with the 4-drop Khalifa here. This is 20k to lead. And let's see what Julian ends up doing. You can see Julian definitely has the combo power, but he's just going to end up taking it. And that should put him at... wait, is that 3? Okay, so Julian is at 3. I thought he was at 4. I was looking at it. But that's definitely 3 life. It's weird that that Juan chose not to combo out the Kaba. That would have been really good for him, because he did have the free Child's Wish. But he's gonna go ahead and attack with this 3-drop Kaba, and that's gonna be 15 to lead, and you can't counter it, unfortunately. For Julian, who has multiple counters, at least 2 to 3. And let's see, does Juan want a combo? And no, he didn't. But let's fast forward a little bit here. This is Julian's turn here, and Julian is coming up on 4 energy. This is the part of his deck that actually gets scary, because the 6-drop Gogeta and the 8-drop Gogeta is such a strong set of cards. They that'll help him chip away at the board presence that Juan has built up for himself. So here Julian uses leader auto to draw 2 cards, but then chooses not to take a life, because the take a life part is optional. So pretty much utilizing that's really good for him, because that doesn't force him down to 1 life. He's still at a good 2 life. That's still pretty scary position to be at, especially versus Veggies, because 1 Child's Wish could bring a swarm of maybe 3 monsters that Juan could attack with. just for one card, you know. Child Wish definitely being an enabler in order to help the Kaba really shine. And this is why Shenron Veggies is good, because you'll have the swarm of Veggies, but the recovery power of being able just to say, oh, you got rid of my Kaba, you got rid of my board, I'll just build it up again, is really strong, I feel like, for this deck. And it's not like any other Veggie variant in which, you know, if you count Child Wish, you have actual 8 Kabas, in the sense where you can constantly bring them back. They don't have the same value while they're both in your hand, but paired together, it definitely makes magic happen. So here, Julian does end up playing the 2-drop Vegeta, doing the auto again, and he's going to end up adding the 6-drop Gogeta this time around. This Vegeta does have an auto of +5. You can go ahead and, oh well, not +5. Once per turn, you can -5 one of your opponent's battle cards. So let's see, what does Julian decide to get rid of? The Kaba that can't be countered is looking pretty decent, because that stops most of Julian's hands. But at the same time, this Kale will net him a hand advantage and +5 itself, and Juan's hand doesn't look that big, if you ask me. So I'm not too sure. But it's not like the Shenron leader draws per turn. You can definitely use the auto for something else, and the leader can't attack, so that is one less attack Julian has to deal with. And now that we actually get to see Juan's hand size, it's looking pretty healthy. Anyways, so giving him more cards is definitely what Julian is trying to stop here, and that's gonna just Juan's just gonna let the Kale die there. So he's not in a bad spot. Still, he still has 2 cards he can attack with. One can be countered. And I think Julian here probably just passed his turn. Or does he have a Veku who can play? I'm not too sure. Alright, so here he's going to go to discard a Goku and a Vegeta. And he's going to play a Veku here. And this Veku is going to actually attack the 3-drop Kaba here. And you see here, Julian does use a super combo. And what Julian's trying to do is pretty much get this Kaba off the board, because this Kaba is going to present a problem for him with his negates in his hand. So that's going to actually force Julian to combo out cards, when a simple negate would have been the answer. And alright, one super combo that it took to get rid of that Kaba. And now Julian's going to go ahead and use his Veku's active main to add back those Gokus and Vegetas that he just ended up using. Alright. And he's going to go ahead and grab a 3-drop Vegeta, and I think that was a 3-drop Goku there. Both of those cards, when played, they can go ahead and chain off each other in a way, like you play it and then you end up searching. Well, you don't search it, you play the other one. and pretty much tutor out one of the cards. And here, Julian does end up playing another Veku, and that's gonna go ahead and actually minus 10 something, and he's gonna go ahead and minus 10 the Kaba, so that gets rid of that. So now Julian is gonna go ahead and draw a card for Awaken, and then untap an energy. And now Julian's going to go ahead and attack the Khalifa. Not the Khalifa, the Kale. No, that is the Khalifa, what I'm talking about. He's going to go ahead and attack with lead to Khalifa there. And lead is only 15 at the moment, so Julian does have to combo out a card to match his 20. Alright, so Julian uses a super combo here. And that's going to be 25. And one more makes it 30. So that is 30 to this 20 at the moment. In order to save it, Juan does have to combo 35, so that'll be either 2 or 3 cards from his hand. Alright. Let's see. It looks like he does have a world peace in hand, so that's one, you can count that out for combo power. But for the most part, it looks like he could do it. But would he want to keep that card alive for the price of that many cards from his hand? I don't think that's a good option. And he's probably debating that himself, whether he wants to do it or not. I know I would give a second thought of trying to defend this card. But keeping it on the board will also benefit himself, because that's one extra attack when Julian is only at 2. So, yeah, he ended up doing just that, just so you can have 2 extra, well, one at least one attack for Julian, who is at 2 life. Alright, Juan, remembering to definitely charge this turn. Go ahead and charges a Khalifa himself. So now he's at 3. And that is 2 reds. You can see that he plays the Kefla, but you need 3 reds in order to actually do his union. And unfortunately, he didn't charge an energy last turn. That is going to put him behind if he does have a Kefla in his hand. From what it looks like, he definitely does not. He does have a Child's Wish though, so that'll definitely help him out, because he has a Kale. Let me see. Yeah, he does have a Sister Kale in hand, so if he does end up bringing out the Kaba, that'll reduce that Kale's hand, specified green cost by 1, or cost in general, so that'll make her a 1-drop, and then it'll be a 1-drop red, which you could still bring it out along with any other additional battle cards that Kaba itself may bring. So that'll at least be a minimum of 3 attacks if it whiffs, because he'll have the Khalifa on board, then the Kaba itself, and if that whiffs, that's unfortunate. And then he'll also have the Sister Kale for a 1-drop, and that'll help him out too. Or you can also bring the green, the 1-drop, the other Khalifa in his hand also becomes a 1-drop, and it'll net him a card from his life too, to help him dig for cards if he's really looking for anything. There's not too much action going on, but you can definitely see the amount of concentration that Juan is given towards the game. Definitely, thinking out his plays carefully. And Julian is going to go ahead and tap a card and use After Image. And that's going to put his leader up by plus 40. And then minusing 10 his Khalifa there. So that's going to put it at minus 10 for the turn, actually. While the plus 40 is only for the duration of battle on Julian's end for his leader. So that's one attack stopped. And it's a good thing that Juan chose not to play any battle cards before he attacked with this Khalifa, because if he had any other battle cards, Julian could have hit the After Image on the other card, minusing that by 10, so that would have been another attack. 2 attacks Julian would have thwarted for the price of one energy. And it looks like he's debating whether to use the Child's Wish or not. That's definitely probably his best option here. Just given the other cards in his hand would end up forcing him to tap out anyways. He could still use his leader auto to do so. But if he goes ahead and Child's Wish the 3-drop Kaba by tapping 2 and then using the leader ultimate to give it plus 10 and triple attack, that's a triple attack that can't be negated. That is 25, and then whatever combo power he Juan chooses to give the card in general. So that is another option on the board. And yeah, Juan hasn't done anything much yet. He's you can definitely see he's thinking it over, man. He has quite a bit of options that he can roll with. One, it would be pretty pushy considering Julian's hand size. But it looks like he's gonna go ahead and use leader auto here to bring out the 3-drop Kaba. And now he's gonna tap 2 to play the 1-drop Kale here. And now the Kale's gonna go and attack leader. And Julian's gonna hit him with, is that all you got? And this right here is so pivotal and like so integral to this game for Julian right now, because the fact that Juan chose to attack with the sister Kale first means that he can go ahead and use his negate and get rid of the Cobb before he gets a chance to attack. So pretty much just making Juan here really neg on that play that he just did. And yeah, Juan taking a chance to read that card. And that card just really messed him up there. Alright, now let's see what Julian end up doing here. Juan is still at 6. So that's really scary if you think about it, because I mean, well, you don't really have to think too hard. Your opponent does have 4 life above you compared to your 2. So Julian here is going to tap 4 to play this Gogeta here, He discards 2, draws 2, plays him, and now he's going to go ahead and attack this battle card here. And alright, and then he is going to end up using his super combo, and because he killed the battle card, he gets to stand up, and then he can go ahead and play the 8 drop over it. And Julian's going to go ahead and discard another 8 drop. And let's see, what else does he end up getting rid of? And he gets rid of an after image there. Okay. And then the 8 drop auto, because Juan controls no battle cards, that's going to end up forcing him to take 2 of his life and just putting it into the drop. And there is the other Kefla and the other Khalifa for him. And now this is going to be, I forget how strong he is. I want to say he's at least 30, I believe. 30 double strike. And does Julian end up comboing here? And he's going to go ahead and combo Aveku. So I believe that's 35, if I'm not mistaken. And okay. And Juan's going to end up taking it. And now Julian's going to attack with his leader. And he's going to go ahead and pitch the Gogeta there. And he is going to end up comboing out pretty much the rest of his hand. And this right here is where it becomes like a hard thing for Julian, because if you look at his hand, if you briefly look at it, he had he has 2 negates in his hand left over. So if he was gonna really push for game, what he should have done is discarded one of the negates. Actually, wait, hold on. So here, there was an issue here. So it definitely looked like, okay. So what had happened there was that Julian did more than what they saw. And Julian ends up winning the game there. Because not Kevin. Why do I keep calling him Kevin? I'm so sorry, Juan. Because Juan didn't have enough combo power. But thanks, guys. Stay tuned for round 4. Have yourself a good night. Or a good morning. Or whatever time.